creating my social media use diary, I chose the most typical day for myself. This included an 8-hour shift at work in the morning and 2 evening classes. I am unable to have my phone at work, and during class I try to take handwritten notes so I'm not distracted by my laptop. This limits my social media use to transit. I mostly use it on the bus, on the way downtown, when I wake up in the morning, right before I go to bed, when I'm walking to work, and when I'm walking to school. I took note of 20 times total that I checked my phone that day. Then I compiled it into this data, so I used Instagram 50% of the time I was checking my phone. The next often was Snapchat, and then email. Facebook was the least often, coming in at 5%. I also kept track of how I was using each social media, in terms of how often I interacted with them. I find that when using email, I was interacting 100% of the time because I was either replying to a message or I was sending a new email to my friends or colleagues. I find that Facebook was also highly interactive because I only used it once that day and I used it to check messages and reply to messages that I may have not gotten around to in a week or so. I find that I'm not very interactive with Instagram at all. I mostly just aimlessly scroll through my feed looking at pictures. I don't update my information or post any photos of myself at all. Looking at the compiled data, we can see that email and Facebook were both 100% interactive, while Snapchat was 50% interactive, acting as a conversation where you receive and send a message equally, and Instagram was the least interactive. I find it interesting that I seem to use the social media the most that require the least amount of interaction, so I'm not really being very social at all. I find this very reflective to my personal life because I have social anxiety. I kind of want to hide from the world. Going to school and work full time, I find that media interactions are too much work for leisure time. While analyzing the data I compiled, I was reminded of the quote we all know and love: "The medium is the message." Many people argue that social media shapes the way we interact with others, but I would argue that we choose the social media we want to use based on the interactions we want to have.